Yo, the biggest billboard is yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Because you think about it, the hustle brings the dollar, right? And the experience brings the knowledge, and the persistence brings the success. We talk about all the time, persistence is key. You gotta be consistent and persistent.
What's up with it, world? We back one more gear. You know what it is, the Hustle Lounge podcast. Yours truly, the biggest hustle. What's up, family?
What's
What's
good?
good? What's good? We here, man. What's up? We got a special guest. Hey,
Special guest.
yeah,
Hold on. Special guest.
special guest
The
for sure.
biggest. If you want anything digital, any kind of design, she got some stuff that ain't even on the flyer yet. But we're gonna name this joint Everything Digital with
Everything.
K.Madison
Everything.
Design. With
Yeah.
K.Madison Designs. Can we get a round of applause for the people, please? What's good, baby?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? For having me.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate
You
you.
We
Time
see
is
you in the trap house
everything.
back there.
Long time coming. I know.
Yeah,
We see
yeah.
you. We know you trapped out. We know that you got a busy schedule, so we're gonna jump right into it. Let's start off with the introduction. Who are you? And for the record, it is my favorite cousin, aka my big sister. We got a storied history. Love her to death. Here we go. I'm gonna just say it at the start, and this goes off everything we've all been talking about over the last couple of weeks, right? When you do have that opportunity to catch up with a family member, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the Facebook, man, cousin Detroit. I'm going there for the football game for my birthday when I was in Ohio. Cuz, what you doing? Nothing, cuz, I ain't seen you in a while. Let's pull up. The rest is history. That was 2017. Rest is history. It was always love, but it's even better when you just linked up.
Facts.
I won't talk about how she tortured me, but
Y'all don't listen to him.
K.Madison is so big that her name isn't even K.Madison, and I cannot stop saying K.Madison. But go ahead, introduce yourself, man.
To give a little introduction, my name is Ivory. I am the owner of K.Madison Designs, which is named after my daughter, which is Kalani Madison. Madison is her middle name. And I'm the owner, creator, the designer, the delivery guy. I'm doing it all, y'all. I'm doing it all. But yeah, this is my business, and it is printing and designing. So I do pretty much custom work for a lot of small businesses primarily, and a lot of different events and special occasions.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Hold up, man. She just ran through it though. She said, creator, designer, deliver, anything you want. She doing it by herself. She's doing it all.
Doing it all.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's fire.
Hopefully we can grow. Hopefully we can grow real soon.
Yeah. You will. No doubt about it. I can
take some hands off some things, but yeah, I'm the one doing it all right now.
Okay. Definitely. That's what's up.
How long you been in business?
Officially, a year and a half. But I've been working on design work for the last, I want to say like 4 to 5 years. But as far as K.Madison, it's been about a year and a half that we've been officially, an LLC, operating business. But before that, we were kind of like just testing the water. So maybe about a year before that, before we actually went and got the LLC and made things official.
Okay. And it's always been a passion of yours, or it's something new you picked up?
Designing, no, has not always been a passion for me. Entrepreneurship, yes. As early as I can remember would be like high school. But for this was something that was kind of something that I learned working, which I always tell people, like, build a skill, find a skill within, your workplace, and, see what, relates to you, or something that you can carry on and maybe make a business out of. So that's kind of how this ended up falling in my lap.
Okay, yeah, you walked right into our next question, which is, tell us about your previous business ventures.
Oh, So the very, very first business, y'all remember those like "you should be here" signs?
Oh, like
Yeah.
travel
Come on,
agent.
you was a con artist, cuz.
That was my first venture. Yo, you would have, like now when I think about it, I'm like, yo, if I wasn't like strong-willed and really just determined to like really just keep going, I would have stopped right there. I would have stopped right there. It was, I mean, y'all know about it, right?
Yeah.
It was like the ultimate pyramid scheme. Like, you wasn't making no money if you wasn't bringing nobody else in. And that was you
gotta bring somebody to bring somebody to bring somebody.
I'm like, yo, I network now. So it was nothing for me to kind of like talk to some people. Hey, I got this going, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't want to be looked at. I value my face, right? I value my reputation. So being as though that particular organization or business, whatever you want to call it, entity, it had a bad reputation. I kind of pulled away from it because of that. I didn't want people to feel scammed. I didn't want people to feel like, yo, I just spent my last $100 to sign up.
Word is mine.
Ain't nobody listening to me. Like, they should be here. They ain't here.
Right. No, and they ain't about to get that 100 back.
I was like, you know what? Like, this ain't for me. But it was a good way to see different lanes of businesses and how they could go.
That's crazy you brought that up, because that was like once I came in, I got that gift of gab, so they got me quick, right? They was like, yo, this is for you. The military ain't working out, because I was a troublemaker at the time. And then they were smart with it. And that's why I'm gonna write a book on sales, because sex sells. So they had the shorty at Canon. She was like one of the, top 5. They had her reeled in. I was trying to holler. So she hit me like, yo, what you doing tonight? We ain't got to go out. I could just come through and kick it.
Too easy, right? You're like, yeah, too easy.
Got you.
Yeah, so she like, just pull up on me. And then we go from there. And I'm like, man, I put on my favorite cologne. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? I'm smooth. This is what I used to wear a collar shirt only once a month, because I was still young. So I put on my favorite collar shirt. I walks in, my man, it's her, another shorty, and this big-headed dude who I knew was the head honcho of the joint.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, let me show you this presentation. And
he like, yo, I ain't coming over.
She pressed play on a VCR for you.
Bro.
Popped it in, like, and I was on the same shit. I was like, I know I had to get the gab to get people real in, but I couldn't in my morals. And I wound up getting, I didn't mean to steal your show. I wound up getting into it with the head honcho one day. He was drunk. I was drunk. I was at his crib, and he always was like throwing them jabs. And like we said on the last episode, you get about 2 jabs for I blow up. Right. And he was like, yo, you coming through addicts and you doing all this for that money. I'm out here. I just bought a $300,000 this, man. You know what I mean? Going crazy. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, but you robbing your own people. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'd rather get this money honestly through these addicts than to rob my people, because man, they ain't never had shit. They're gonna kill me about that $335. Like, them people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, man, them people gonna kill me. I take this black $335 and all this bullshit that come with it. Like, I read the whole script before I signed. Yeah, so that was crazy, but yeah, fuck that blue sign, yo.
I started it. So that was like a year me paying those whatever monthly dues.
Yo, that 440, that 440 was special.
Yeah.
Yo, they hit you for like 440 from the start of like 320 a month till you got 3 people.
Like, yeah, it ripped me. It taught me a nice lesson though, right?
Oh yeah, for real. You get burnt for sure on them things.
Like, don't be so quick to just hop on whatever bandwagon is coming your way. Like, research, don't feel pressure. And if anybody's making you feel pressure, then you have to take a step back.
Right.
If I'm begging you to sell it, good dope sell itself.
Exactly.
You heard Jeezy just talk about straight drop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it was locking up in the pot, it wouldn't sell. I don't want to indict nobody, but I learned that from rap music, y'all.
Yeah. And like, we gotta understand if it's too good to be true. Like, hey, that ain't the way to go.
Exactly.
So what happened after the blue sign? What you do after that?
So
after you took the L.
After the blue sign, because I was just getting my feet wet, right? Like, I knew I wanted to do business. And I mean, like, my high school job, I worked at Foot Locker, so I was into sales already. So I already knew that was a lane that I enjoyed. Like, listen, I'll get you to walk out of there with 6 pair of sneakers, like, easy, So after the little blue sign, I was an independent distributor for Pure Romance. you don't know what pure romance, it's adult toys and things of that nature, guys. So I know cuz don't want to hear it, but
he was selling dildos and coming to the party, having dildo parties.
Hey, but at the time though, sex probably was sex is always going to boom, bro.
Sex sells.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like that is because you actually did parties, right? So it wasn't just like selling a toy or whatever merchandise it is that it was. It was more so like, you know, people having like a gathering, right? So it's a room full of ladies. And I mean, I had young girls and I had grandmas in a room, you know? So it was a nice experience to just be able to interact with people from all different ages and different levels and just kind of getting my feet wet.
Right.
Then learning how the profit margin is with things, right? Because when you're an independent distributor, it's like, yeah, you're selling my product for me, but you get this 20% off of that $50 item, you know? And I kept looking at like how, like I was actually doing numbers, but I'm like, yo, if I could do this for somebody else, like I could flip anything, you know what I mean? I could do my own thing, like, you know, and I gotta wait for the product to get here and then get it to, you know, the customers and things of that nature. So it wasn't, it was more so just it's time to step back from it. Like it was fun at the moment. Let's put it that way. You know, I was in college, you know, it was a couple extra dollars and I got to interact with other people. We about to go down the list now, y'all.
Yeah. It was a hustle.
Yeah, after that, I moved along to Hair Mob. So with Hair Mob, I was selling extensions, and that was in 2013, and that ran to about right before my daughter, so about 2018. That was my baby. Like I still think about like if I'm going to go back and regroom that, you know,
right.
Like that's who people know me for. Like they know me from Hair Mob. Like, I mean, I did Hair Mob and we was like in New York City. I had like 12 girls out there. We just walk in the street with Hair Mob shirts on. And that right there made me know that, you know, this printing and design thing can go down a good, right? Like just branding and be able to market, because when we were in New York City doing a photo shoot.
Shout out to New York.
We was in Harlem. Yeah. We was in Harlem on 125th. Right?
Hey, 125th. See, them two don't know about it because they from the country. They don't know about the city life.
Hey, yo, can you mute please over there so we can listen to her, man? Lee, man, she live in Jersey. She gonna talk about New York, man. Come on, man. Lee, man.
No, I love the city. I can't lie. I love the city. I love the vibe. I love the energy, and I feel like that's why I went. And when I, you know, decided like, all right, I'm gonna start this venture. You know, the first thing I wanted to do was like, all right, I want to go to a photo shoot. Yo, let's shoot to the city. Let's go big. Like, you know, that was my mindset, and all I could think about was a mob of girls, you know? So you got a bunch of beautiful women. We all got the same t-shirts on. Everybody kind of styled it to, you know, their liking of, you know, their particular style. And you would have thought we were celebrities in New York City. Like we had people pulling over with their video cameras, like, yo, come take a picture. You know, like I look like somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially in Harlem. You know it's gonna catch you. It's gonna catch.
Like, for sure, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was pretty much Hair Mob. And then as I was doing Hair Mob, I had a little side hustle along with that, which I was selling like handbags. You know, now I'm in the city all the time now. So, you know, I'm getting handbags, I'm getting scarves and things of that nature. So, you know, I had my other little boutique type of stuff that was on the side. And then along came K.Madison after that.
So first off, when you said the boutique and handbag, you know, you took me deep with that one. Let's have them on the side for Popeye Frank one time.
Yep. Yeah.
Popeye Frank was this shit in our blood, yo. I think people don't really realize that hustle in our blood. Really? And what was crazy, like me and I was Facebook friends. We was cousins. We talked when we seen each other in Jersey, you know, but when I left, I never really, like, I'm not coming back from across the world to come to Jersey, but the Hair Mob was crazy. Like I was just blowing up the feed with 18, 22, 24 inches. And at the time, I'm like, yo, cuz selling rims. You know, I'm in the car. So, you know I see 24 inches. I knew nothing about it. I'm fresh out of Japan. So, you know, in Japan, they ain't really was on that hair extensions, right? And I'm like, yo, this is the new wave. But yeah, the Hair Mob did. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Like she said, like, I was looking like, this cuz, like this shit, she going digital. And I say all that to say two things. I'm looking at my right and my left columns on my right eye, on my right low. So Harlem, the branding, and Colin got very excited about Harlem in New York.
Because I love New York. I'm from Brooklyn. You ready to know? I'm
but
in
Hustle
there.
Smarter hasn't invaded New York yet. I'm a mute though.
Yeah.
Keep going. Go ahead, Chris. Ask the next question. Hustle Smarter hadn't invaded New York yet. K.Madison ain't make our shirts yet, and Colin ain't take us on the tour guide. That's all right. I get it, yo.
Hey, so I'm gonna say this, right? Because it seems like you've been winning each venture you do, been winning. So I look at it like, you know, winners are ordinary people with extraordinary determination. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to keep going. People don't. Why you looking at me like that? Hustle, damn. But you know what I'm saying? Like you keep grinding, you keep trying new ventures because you got to succeed. You don't take the back seat because this didn't work. You try the next thing, you keep it going, and eventually you will keep finding your niche because everything you did done built you up to the K.Madison where it's at today.
Exactly.
Facts.
Thank you.
Stop what you're doing right now, man. Hit that like button, man. What's a comment? Let us know how we doing. Appreciate y'all.
Ivory's the top 5 greatest hustlers of the era.
All right,
so if we didn't know, so I confide with Ivory a lot. So Ivory's like my unofficial publicist. She too big time with K.Madison for me to put on the payroll. I know her price is real high, but sometimes, you know, I won't say that I say wild things, but sometimes before I say certain things, I run it by her first from her point of view. Not only a female or family member, because just because you're a family member don't mean I'm gonna ask you a question, but because of her hustle, everything I seen her do throughout the years. You know, as we met in Detroit, I started doing my homework. Like, man, what the hell, cuz got going on? I thought she was moving bags or something. You know what I mean? Not that I was mad. I might want in on that too. But political campaigns. So Ivory's, I'm gonna give her flowers. Her managerial skill set and leadership / life coach / mentorship / nurturer, protector, provider, educator. So she possesses a lot of those qualities. And when we talked about it that day, it said she stemmed from the political campaign. So please enlighten us.
So the political campaign was a journey that I didn't sign up for, or at least it wasn't nowhere in my plan. It was my senior year in college, and it was pretty much almost time for graduation. And so it was a couple weeks before the semester was ending. And I had a friend from my hometown that reached out to me, told me that, you know, it was a campaign that was happening out in North New Jersey, and that they were looking for people to drive vans. They were looking for people to drive vans, and they was paying daily, right? So it was like 150, 175 a day, something like that. But it was like 3 days straight, and they was paying you at the end of the shift. So I'm like, what? You already know, sign me up. Like, I'm here. I go to class Monday through Thursday. I'm free Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I got you. You know, so I ended up driving vans for the campaign that weekend. And it was literally just supposed to be that. It was just supposed to be me driving, making a couple dollars that weekend, and, you know, graduating from school and then figuring out what, you know, career I was going to go into. Needless to say, a week after I did that campaign, they had reached out to me. It was maybe about 2 weeks, because about this time I done graduated already. So they had reached out to me, and they was like, you know, that they, you know, loved me, and that they had another campaign that was going on, that it was pretty much like the ending of it, and they just needed a little bit of help, and they wanted me to go out to Long Island. So I ended up going out to Long Island for a couple days, did that, and then from there, maybe a couple weeks after that, they had asked me to join another campaign. And this is what actually got me there, and I stayed there. So this campaign I loved. This campaign wasn't a political campaign. This campaign was for Lyft and Uber to operate in the city of New York, and then for them to operate in Philly, and for them to operate out in Texas. So that's what actually got me into the campaign, because I fell in love with it. It was like my dreams coming true without me even like being a part of it. It's like my work consists of happy hour, like, you know, just like cocktail hours, you know, it's like great, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like mixing and mingling with all these different business owners, and we're eating crackers and cheese and wine.
Them finger foods.
Yeah, it was like, yo, this is dope. And it's like, yo, I'm getting paid. Like, I'm nice to just like chill. Right. But it was pretty much a petitions program just to kind of like get them to be able to operate, because, you know, the whole taxi, that whole thing So I was actually a part of those teams in those cities that were able to get them to operate moving forward.
Okay.
So that's what actually got me in. And then, I ended up spending 5 years with them. So during that time there, I had a project manager. She was dope. She was one of those managers that you have that sees more in you than you kind of see in yourself.
Yeah.
And I always had a fear of public speaking. I always had a year. I always had a fear of public speaking. And that was like one of the main things that you needed during these campaigns, right? Like, whether it be me doing training or, having to speak with a client, like I always kind of like froze up. And she always used to tell me like, Ivory, one day we're going to get you over that. Like one day you're going to stand in front of this room and do the training. Like I wouldn't do the training. I'd be like, listen, I'll do the HR paperwork. I'll do onboarding. I'll do the data entry. I'll put a payroll, whatever it is you want me to do, but I'm not doing training. Like I'm not in front of the girl. And one day she got me. One day she didn't schedule anybody else to come in to do the training. And I was the only person there. Now I had to sat through 100 trainings, but I had never did mine. And that day I had to get up and I had to do that training. And I couldn't thank her enough for that.
Right. You killed that shit too.
Beast out the cage. I was like, okay, I did it,
Yeah.
And, it just made me feel good. But she made a very valid point during that time. She was like, listen, you're a good worker. You know what I mean? You're good all around, like, as far as like leading people. But you have to be an asset. And the more that you know and the more that you can do, the more money you can make. Now, I'm already coming to her like, yo, I heard such get paid.
Yeah. Where my hands at?
You know what I mean? You gotta grow into that. And I'm like, okay, so what I gotta do? She like, did the first step, you did the training, like, learn different areas of this office so that when people can't come on to, work on this particular campaign, that you can go ahead and take it over. So that's one of the things that, I took from her is like, making yourself valuable. You know what I'm saying? Because then when you know different things and your knowledge, the knowledge behind it, like you could put a price tag on yourself for real. It can't do that. But as I was transitioning out of the campaigns, because I was, expecting my child, I had a long conversation with her, and she had told me like a few years prior to that for me to like start learning how to do digital work. That digital work was on its way, and like that was going to be the way, and that's where the money was going to be. So, in between campaigns, like, she even paid for programs for me, like my Photoshop program. She paid for everything. She gave me a MacBook. She hooked me up because she really believed in me. She just like, in your spare time, just play with it, just learn.
Yeah. And
it came that time where I'm like, all right, I'm making a decision to be a mom. I can't travel state to state no more. I can't hop on a plane with a newborn baby no more. But that was my livelihood. Like that's where I was. So I ended up reaching out to her, and she had told me that she was getting ready to start her own digital firm and asked me to come on board. She was like, well, what did you learn during that time? I was like, well, I know a little bit, Jen. She was like, all right, like, I'm going to start the digital firm in the next couple of months or whatever. Like, you can come on board with me and, we can go ahead and, you can just do some digital work. It'd be stuff that you could do from at home. So I did a few websites for a couple different political clients that they had. I designed like some door hangers that they put on the door, some lawn signs, just some little things like that. And then this is like maybe a couple months before COVID had hit. Business has slowed down for them. You got to think about it like this is campaign field work. So their main basis is like sending people out to go door to door. And now ain't no door to door. Ain't no door to door, like you got to figure out another way, which this digital comes into play as well. So she had told me like, business was running a little slow and, that she would, let me know when things had picked up, but she pretty much didn't have contracts. Because I was a contracted employee with her, or a contractor with her. So once that happened, I was like, Ivory, what you're not going to do is take what you've learned and just let that just kind of sit on the wayside, I I took her, advice and being an asset, learning different things and making myself valuable. So I'm like, I know how to do this. I learned this skill and I know that I could do something with it. And here I am.
That's what's up. So why you doing?
That's tough. That's tough.
Go ahead, G.
No, go ahead. I was just saying that's tough. I didn't know that's how the K.Madison started through the political story.
So y'all got the full frame of.
Yeah, I got the whole framework. This shit a motion picture. Word is born.
So while you was doing all of this, you was trying to kind of staying to yourself. You wasn't too loud about it. You was just making your moves, right? So that's the thing I go by. Like you hustle in silence and let your success make noise.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's what I go by all the time. And that's fire. That she was making it shake like that, bro. Ain't nobody know. They ain't gotta know.
Can we see the shirt?
Oh, you ready? No, you ready? No. You see it? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, all day, every day.
Hold on, I need that.
Oh yeah, we got you. We got you.
So throughout all these business ventures, what was the biggest lesson you learned from each one?
The biggest, I can come with a lot of lessons. The biggest lesson I would have to say is you gotta believe in yourself. You really gotta believe in yourself, because when I tell you, if I listened to people that was around me, I wouldn't never made it to no K.Madison. I wouldn't have made it to here, Mom. Let me put it that way. And the reason why I say that is you could feel when you're in the right space, right? But everybody else around you may not know that or see that yet. And you could really gotta push through those moments, because they can be really like a moment of like, you know what, I'm just going to tap out. I'm going to tap out. Nobody's believing me. Nobody's liking. Nobody's sharing. Nobody's, commenting. Nobody's really supporting or whatever. And just, you got to believe in yourself. You really got to believe in yourself, because it gets hard. It gets hard when you messing up or things ain't going right. Like, you got to push through those moments, because it's those moments that actually strengthen you.
That's tough, yeah, and that's the hard part too. Like me and Cuz talk a lot about. We talk about it a lot because ultimately, and I think I said this. I'm sure I said it on a couple of my sermons that I post throughout the week when I go on my rants. But sometimes we just naturally, as humans, we want support from people who ain't ready to support us, and they might not support us till we get to that next level. And all that's fine. There's no grudges being held, but it's so imperative that you got to believe in yourself more than anybody else, which is why everything matters. The boundaries matter, because if someone's close, you only need boundaries from close people. But if that close person is impeding on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to grow, they got to move around. And you said with the energy, the majority of our culture, especially, me and her in the same blood, 9 to 5 to 65 and die, hopefully, and die on the job. You know what I mean? No money. So everything she's saying is foreign. Everything I'm saying is foreign, because they're
it's like
they're trying to.
You want to go to work. Like, you got a good job. Like, what are you doing?
Why would you quit? What are you doing? They're paying you $15 an hour. Like, then when you break down the math, like $15 an hour in Jersey is more like 15 cents, because they've been there so long, they don't even see that. Like,
they don't see the no.
But
like,
that's dope.
What I'm saying about like believing in yourself. Let's say I was selling here. Okay, guys. I was selling here. I do not do hair. I don't do hair. I don't do hair. So, you got to think about it. I'm out here selling hair to people, and they like, oh, can you put it in for me? Like, and I'm like, nah, but I can send you to her. I can send you to her, and I can send you to her. Like those same people that do hair are looking at me like, yo, Ivory, how you really out here selling hair? You don't even do hair. It don't matter.
It don't.
I got a product. I know my product, and I know how to sell. I know how to give good customer service, and that's all I need. Give me that case of water. You
can flip that, yeah. So
you structure yourself and you get yourself in a position where you're able to carry those skills on whatever it is that you do, and that's hands down.
That's fire. That's fire.
And the biggest billboard is yourself.
Yeah, bro. Because you think about it, the hustle brings the dollar, right? And the experience brings the knowledge, and the persistence brings the success. We talk about all the time, persistence is key. You gotta be consistent and persistent.